What's up everybody, Weston here with The Hidden Given, back with another daily deck tech video. And today, I've got a little bit of an interesting one. So, I got a specific request through the Facebook page, which, you know, I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up too much on my social medias. I gotta do that a little bit better to help the channel grow. But I do work a full job. But the individual approached me and said that they would like to have me upgrade a deck, but they had an extremely limited budget. And that is something I can absolutely empathize. We have all been through that moment in our lives where, you know, times are tight and you want to be able to enjoy your hobby, but can't really spend, you know, $500-600 on a deck. So this person said that they got back into Magic and they have a Precon, and they wanted to see if there could be some upgrades within their budget. So that Precon is Seize the Control. It's an Izzet Precon. And we have Melek, Izzet Paragon. So this isn't the face commander for this deck, but this is the commander that the person chose. And Melek is a 2/4 for 4 generic, 1 blue, 1 red. And you play with the top card of your library revealed, and then you may cast the top card of your library if it's an instant or sorcery card. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your library, copy it, you may choose new targets for the copy. So when I took an initial look at this deck, the Precon, there's a whole bunch of cards that are really expensive, that don't do a whole lot. And there were not that many instants and sorceries. There were a bunch of creatures that just seemed extremely unrelated as compared to like this ability. So the first thing I went ahead and did, so we'll scroll down here, is I started cutting big and expensive things. Our commander is already a 6-drop. We don't want to really have that be, you know, more expensive. Like we need to maximize our value with our non-commander, right? I kept in the mana rocks, so Soul Ring, Izzet, Signet, Worn Power Stone. Yes, I kept Sealed of the Guild Pact in, because if you're running an Izzet thing, you can reduce by 2, and Thought Vessel in here for no maximum hand size, since we did keep draw spells. These are the creatures that stayed in the deck. So we have Ethereum Horn Sorcerer, and all he does is you can return him to your hand, but he cascades. So this is one of the expensive ones that I could justify because of its cascade ability. We have Goblin Electromancer, who makes your instants and sorceries cost less. We have Jace's Archivist, which is each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. Since we're going to try to spell sling, we might run out of cards, and then Jace's Archivist could probably get us a lot of cards depending on how many are in an opponent's hand. We have Mizzix of the Magnus, which is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. And then instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each experience counter you have. Yes, I know that this was why they had the expensive things in there, but if you can't get those things cast because you don't have good enough mana base, then, you know, Mizzix isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. We do have Psychosis Crawler that I kept in here, so that way if an opponent draws a card, whenever you draw a card, the opponents lose life. And we have Talrand still in here, so that if you cast an instant or sorcery, you can make Drakes. These are good for blocking and attacking. Instance, I pretty much kept all of this stuff in. We have Active Aggression, Aetherize, Aether Snatch, so gain control of a spell. There are some that are expensive, like Firemind's Foresight, Prophetic Bolt. Most of what I did cut was actually creatures. So I did keep some of these really expensive spells in here because they can get cheapened by our other things. I kept Stroke of Genius, Steam Augury, Repeal, Reigns of Power, Firemind's Foresight, Factor Fiction, Mirror March. None of these are overly terrible and can be used to pretty good effect. Urza's Rage is a little bit funny, to be honest with you. And Words of Seizing is in here. And then lands, I kept, as you can see, 36. I dropped a couple really bad lands instead added a couple that I thought would work a little bit better. But as you can see, pretty basic land package. Now getting to the cards that I added, and I will go over why I added each one. So right here, added category. I put in antagonize. Target creature gets +4/+3 until end of turn. Gives us a little bit of pump because we need a way to actually win the game and beat somebody down. And we're going to do that with things like antagonize. Now, there are not a whole bunch of these in here, but it does help you connect with some of your creatures. We have Arcane Melee, which is instant sorcery spells, cost 2 less. This is an enchantment for 5. You should be able to get this out reasonably quickly. We do have the big score. I added a few of these type of cards in here. It lets you discard a card to draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures. So you're spending 4 mana to net gain a card and 2 treasures. I count that as pretty good value. And judging by how much it gets played, you know, I would say that it's a pretty good card overall. Brain Surge, which is just big brain storm. Draw 4 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library. Again, drawing those cards, helping you kind of... This also kind of helps you fix the top of your deck, so that way you can cast things off the top. Chemist's Insight, draw 2 cards, and then you can jumpstart it, which is you can cast it from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. And then you exile the card. We have Divination, which draws 2 cards. Double Vision, whenever you cast your first instant sorcery each turn, copy that spell. So we want to be able to like dual cast. So like if you dual cast, like Double Vision this, your creature gets +8/+6, and then you can maybe smash in and kill someone. We have dual casting in here, which is enchant creature. And the enchant creature has tap a red, tap it, copy target instant sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Faithless Looting, draw 2, then discard 2, and you can flash it back. This is one of the lands that I added since we have lots and lots and lots of basics in this deck. We're going to run Frostboil Snarl, where you can reveal an island or mountain to have it come into play untapped. Sulphur Falls, which enters untapped if you control an island or a mountain. And Thriving Isle, which lets us choose red when it comes into play tapped. I did add some creatures in here, as you can see with Jory and Ruin Diver. It's a 2/3 for 3, which whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. We're going to be spell slinging. We have Mocking Sprite, so instant sorceries cost 1 less. Quick Study is draw 2 cards. Storm Skrillex is instants and sorceries. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, Storm Skrillex gets +2/+0. This is one of those creatures that you can use this pump spell on to beef up. We do have Swarm Intelligence, so whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is one of our expensive spells right here. We have Teach by Example, which is whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy. You can choose new targets for the copy. We have Third Path Iconoclast. Whenever you cast whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a colorless soldier creature token. So this will also help us generate dudes, and those dudes, in addition to the Drake dudes, will help us eventually overrun our opponents. We have Thousand Year Storm in here. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before this turn. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then Treasure Cruise lets you draw 3 cards. So these are the cards that I added for now, sticking to an extremely strict budget for you. These come in at $17.11 total for their cheapest version. Most of these you could probably pick up easily at your LGS, in the bulk bin, things like that. Or order them online from, I use Card Kingdom most of the time because they're a union shop. But this is the core upgrades. Now I did want to talk about, and I'll move to the top here so it'll be easier when the video goes up. I wanted to talk about a couple cards that you could probably add in as things become more affordable. Now, as you could probably tell, we don't have a lot of ways to really get in there and win. So things that I would suggest are pingers. So pingers are like Flamesmith of Erebor. There's the Archer from Amonkhet, if you can afford it. Vivi, who's about $30. These are all cards that you can work up to, of course. And then put that in conjunction with Ogier Axonal, which would make your non-combat damage dealt be equal to his power. So his default power is 4. And then from there, you can just add a few other cards that really could get this going. And if you really take your time and upgrade over time, a card here, a card there, you could get this into an Izzet Spellslinger deck that can be pretty high power, even keeping like this commander as is, and run things like Grape Shot with Ogier Axonal, and then just absolutely blow out your opponents that way. But let me know what you think of these upgrades. I tried to do the best I could for you. This was actually a really fun project, and anyone else who needs a deck that they're struggling with, you know, let me know. I can try to do my best to see what I would cut down, what I would add in. If you have budget constraints, I'm always trying to be conscientious of that, because especially, you know, as we're seeing oil prices jump over $115 a barrel, joy, you know, we all have to be very conscientious of the money that we spend at these times. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon. Please all stay safe out there, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.